This is a podcast of 98FM's Dublin Talks. Remember, catch the show live Monday to Friday at 10 a.m.
98FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy. 98FM.
Conor McGregor has been charged with 3 counts of assault and a charge of criminal mischief in New York. He has been arrested after an attack on a bus carrying UFC contestants at the Barclays Centre in New York City. A spokesperson for the NYPD told 98FM News that the notorious will be held in custody until he's taken to Brooklyn Criminal Court. A lot of you have seen the many videos that are doing the rounds of the chaos yesterday. They're on our Facebook and Twitter pages. Facebook is facebook.com/Adrian K and Jeremy D, and our Twitter is at Dublin Talks 98FM.
Hey, open the door. Hey, you oh, hey, this fucking what? Who are these guys? What is wrong with him? That's why. Oh yeah. Dude, we're gonna kill this guy. Right, come to the bank. You don't need to be in there. Dude, what the are you serious? We're gonna kill these guys 100%. We're gonna kill this mother. I cut, man. Whoa. Yo! You alright, Mike? Mike, you okay?
He's waiting.
Get on, real man.
I can't say
Yo, we gotta get him better. I got everything on video. McGregor, say this McGregor.
Now, for those of you who haven't seen the video, I think you get the idea. McGregor caused absolute bloody mayhem yesterday. He was charged, due to appear in court. That footage, there's loads of different videos that are online. And the question that I want to ask you, has McGregor gone too far now? Can he no longer be regarded as a good patron for Ireland? As somebody that we should admire, as somebody we should look up to, as somebody who has put Ireland on the world stage? Simply text me your opinion of him right now to 0877 98 98 98. Having seen the video, and I'm sure many of you have seen the carnage that he caused, now it has to be said, what is your opinion of McGregor now? Text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. The questions I want to ask, is this the beginning of the end for McGregor? Are there actually any people left in Ireland who are willing to defend him? Call me right now on 6797 981, but text your opinion of the guy right now to 0877 98 98 98. Now, earlier on this morning, I spoke to MMA journalist Niall McGrath from his hotel in New York City. And I began by, saying to him that this time, 24 hours ago, McGregor was tweeting really grotesque stuff as well. You'll never strip me of me belt, or whatever it was. Use share of you-know-whats. It's been an eventful 24 hours, Niall.
Yeah, it's been sort of a crazy week ever since Ireland got in here. Obviously, the confrontation with Habib Nurmagomedov in the hotel down the road here in Brooklyn. He was surrounded by a number of Habib's teammates and Habib, and there was words exchanged, very heated exchanged. So I think the whole instance, why Conor and his entourage came over was in relation to that. And then obviously it kicked off today at the press conference down in the Barclays Centre. Obviously, not a good look for Conor McGregor or the sport in Ireland or worldwide. A lot of very unhappy people and fighters and coaches here in Brooklyn. Obviously the UFC aren't very happy with Mr. McGregor after his antics during that incident today. 3 charges pending against him in the 78th precinct in Manhattan. I think there's going to be a further announcement at 7 a.m. I believe local time here in the United States. So it's pretty wild, pretty crazy, but after the numerous events we've had with Conor, it's not really surprising anymore, unfortunately.
So for people who may not be familiar with the whole story, Niall, what led to this angry outburst? And that's an understatement, to be honest.
Well, I think he's come over to defending that incident. Artem, obviously, it looked like from a video we saw online that was posted, it looked like a form of bullying where, Artem was clearly outnumbered with Khabib and his teammates. There's always been a bit of history, obviously, between Conor and Khabib Nurmagomedov in relation to, Khabib is fighting for the vacant UFC lightweight title this weekend against Max Holloway. Max is a guy Conor's fought before, and there's just been a long history because Conor hasn't obviously defended that belt. There's been a lot of back and forth in social media, slagging between the teams all across the board. So it just really hit boiling point and really kicked over this week here in Brooklyn. It's pretty insane.
Now, I know an awful lot of people who have seen the video thought to themselves, oh, this is more McGregor antics, this is just staged. Was it? No,
not for me. From the information I've gathered, it very much wasn't. When the police are getting involved, what Dana White has said, and I know Dana's the kind of character that he's very contradictory. But Dana said a media outlet let McGregor and his entourage into the arena. So no, everything points for me to be very much serious and real matter, and could very well be the last time the UFC have anything to do with Conor McGregor, because a lot of the MMA community here in Brooklyn, I've spoken to fighters, coaches, and they're not very happy with the situation. We've had 3 fights removed from the card. Obviously, Artem has been pulled for the card for his role in the incident in the Barclays Centre, so that fight's off against Alex Caceres. Then we've had 2 other fights off. We've had Anthony Pettis and Michael Chiesa. Michael sustained a cut in the incident. He doesn't have enough time to cut weight, so the commission here in New York, the NYAC, have pulled the fight from the card. And also Ray Borg has an injury to his eye. He's got glass in his eye, so his fight is also off. So 3 fights down for Saturday night here in Brooklyn. Not a very happy mixed martial arts community here.
Now, McGregor himself handed himself in to New York police last night, early hours this morning, our time. Did he have no choice but to do that?
Yeah, I think so. The police are, incredibly serious here. There's been a lot of cop cars going around all day, so I've sort of kept my eyes open a little bit when I've been on the streets. But yeah, I think so. I'd say he's been advised by his legal team and obviously the UFC to, do the right thing and hand himself in before it gets totally out of control. Dana obviously came out earlier on and said there was a warrant out for his arrest. That was false information. I don't know where Dana got that from, but they wanted him, and the report is now that he is going to be charged, but we'll see what happens at 7 a.m. before we comment further on that. Okay,
he wouldn't have the best reputation, as we well know. Will this damage his reputation irreparably?
I'm not sure about his reputation. Obviously, on social media and things like that, we've seen a lot of people say they're fed up with Conor now after this latest outburst. So, yeah, to a certain extent, I'd just be worried about his relationship with the UFC going forward now. There's been so many incidents of this nature. I just think this could be one too far for Dana White and the UFC brass to put up with. It's as Dana said, it's probably the worst incident in UFC history. There's been a long list of very bad incidents. Well, not a long list, a number of incidents, I should say, of fighter behaviour being pretty poor, and I think this tops it all.
Niall McGrath, MMA reporter, thank you very much indeed for joining us on 98FM.
No problem.
Okay, now let's have a listen to what Dana White, who is the UFC president, had to say about McGregor. I have to tell you, it wasn't terribly complimentary.
What happened here today is Conor and approximately 20 guys apparently were let in through the doors by the MacLife guys who were credentialed here. They opened the doors for him through an entrance. They stormed the building, got down to the loading docks where the fighters were getting on the buses and started to attack the buses, throwing trash cans and dollies and things like that. Broke one of the windows and cut Michael Chiesa really bad. He cut his head, he cut his face. Rose Namajunas apparently was almost hit. She's super upset right now and basically left and walked back to the hotel and hurt one of our employees, broke one of our employees' knuckles and other injuries, and obviously everybody's shaken up when 30 thugs storm these guys are all cutting weight and getting ready for a fight. This is the most disgusting thing that has ever happened in the history of the company.
And how about your professional relationship with Conor?
Not good. I think that after this disgusting, despicable move, I think everybody's relationship with Conor is going to be not so great. I mean, even the police officer who came to me about this is like, God, I was a fan of his too. Not anymore. I mean, this is the type of bad decision you make that turns a lot of people off against you. You know, he attacked a bus. Listen, he's got some beef with Khabib because of the Artem thing that went down. You don't come into Barclays Center, attack people that are in a bus who are fighting the next day. And the worst part is the women that were on the bus. They're fighters. Rose is a fighter and Carolina are fighters, but these goons are throwing bike racks and chairs and things like that through the windows of the bus and didn't care who they hit or who they hurt.
Sitting here, I know it's fresh, but you want to be in business with Conor McGregor?
Yeah, no, right now, no. Absolutely not.
What do you make of, why?
What do you make of this? Do you want to be in business with Conor McGregor right now? Do you want to chase this guy around for interviews and buy his fights? Do you? Yeah. No, I don't think anybody is going to want to right now. No, I think everybody's going to be pretty disgusted with Conor McGregor right now.
Okay, there you go. That is Dana White, the UFC president, and that audio came to us courtesy of MMA Junkie. Look, the lines are open to you. The lines are already jammed on 67979881. You can text or WhatsApp your opinion to us on 0877 98 98 98. And I'll tell you what I am looking for is somebody to defend him. There have always been people who've jumped to McGregor's defence when he appeared in court here in Dublin over speeding, and he swaggered out of the court and he jumped into his car and he sped off. There were people who defended him. Can we find one person after all that shit that went down yesterday? Because that's the only way you can describe it. It was embarrassing. It was absolutely embarrassing to see a so-called professional sportsman carry on like that. It really was. Are you somebody who would still defend him? Call me right now on 6797 Eddie, you're on Dublin's 98FM. How are you, Eddie? You're disgusted over this.
Adrian, all the money in the world cannot buy class. The guy is an absolute tool. He's a scumbag. You've seen it last year. He jumped into an octagon last year, slapped the referee, right? Then he had that alleged fight in some gangster in a pub. And when he was challenged on it on the outside, he went, "Come get me." Then he turned up to a court. This is a guy that won't leave the house without having the finest attire on. And he turns up the court in a fucking, sorry, pardon the language, a tracksuit. Complete disregard, you know what I mean? Then jumps in a car and speeds away after just being done for speeding without even putting a seatbelt on. And then his misdemeanor last night. I mean, he could have took somebody's eye out last night. You know what I mean? He'd be sued left, right and centre now for loss of earnings, damages, etc.
I can imagine, yeah.
Rightly so. The guy is a laughing stock. He'll end up as a show pony on WWE or something like that. Absolute joke he is. Okay,
he is appearing in court at 1 o'clock our time this afternoon on 3 different charges. It appears he had no choice but to hand himself in last night because he was going to be arrested anyhow.
Yeah, and do you know what he doesn't realise, right? Once he gets a criminal record, when he flies back out there, they won't let him back in. You know what I mean? You have to fill out all these forms and visas, etc. to get into the States now. He won't be allowed back in. You know, he's just ruining everything for himself. And did he just have another kid a while ago? I'm not too sure.
No, he has one as far as I know.
He's a father anyway, isn't he? I mean,
yes, he is a father, yes.
I've said it for years. If people around the country think that fella's a role model for their children, there's something wrong. You know what I mean? You see him on the Late Late Show. He couldn't even go 2 sentences without swearing his head off. You know what I mean? The guy is just... I'd say his parents are looking at that and they're just embarrassed. You know what I mean? They'd just be pure embarrassed. And you won't get anyone on the show defending them. You know what I mean? What he done last night could took somebody's eye out. You know what I mean? And now he's put people out of work. All these fans that used to love him, who bought tickets for the show, who now can't go. You know what I mean? He's becoming a loose cannon, isn't he?
All right, but stay there for 1 second because... Alma, you obviously have been a fan of McGregor's in the past. You went to see him in Vegas. What do you think of this latest... I was going to say stunt, but it wasn't a stunt.
I actually have to say, my husband was more surprised than I was because he's kind of been a loose cannon in the last while, so I wasn't really that surprised. But I don't know, that was a bit ridiculous now last night, like, you know. But I don't know. Like, my husband now is an absolute fan. Everything he's done, even the court case, he thought, you know, laugh it off, he's brilliant or whatever. But last night he actually said, "Oh, I can't believe that's it. He's done. He's gone. He'll never fight again."
But he certainly won't. I doubt he'll ever fight in America again. Anyway, after this,
and he's probably going to be broke as well because he's going to be sued left, right, and centre from everyone.
Yeah. So, as somebody who supported him to the extent that you went to see him in Vegas, what was your reaction when you saw all this stuff today?
Well, half of me feels a bit sorry for him, I think, as well, though, because I think he came from nothing and now he's all this money and he doesn't know. He just thinks, no, he's untouchable. You
feel sorry for him?
I do a little bit because he's got a kid and he's got a wife and he's got a family and, you know, all them are going to bear the brunt of this as well. He never thought of any of them in this. He never thought of anything. He just went out and done this.
Yeah, but surely somebody who is so high profile, they get interviews on the Late Late Show here in Ireland, they're interviewed on all the bloody networks in America. Surely somebody like that knows that there is a line that you don't cross.
There is, but I think he thinks he's untouchable. He's money
but
now.
But nobody is.
Yeah, well, because he's all this money, I think he thinks she doesn't. He knew. I don't know if some of this is about the belt being stripped as well, the timing of the whole thing. Like, you know, the way he got his belt stripped, and your man was fighting for it on Saturday night. And I wonder, is this part of it as well, that he's a bit peed off about all that? Like,
now, obviously, we haven't heard Conor McGregor's side of this story. In fact, Ronan, you think that he'll come out of this smelling of roses? Really?
Yeah. I mean, whatever happens, Dana White will know how to publicise this regardless. Give him one last big fight and golden handshake. And
I certainly didn't, listening to him on that recording that we played a minute ago, I certainly didn't get that impression. That I got the impression that their relationship is done. He's done with him.
Well, I mean, you remember a long time ago when McGregor said he wasn't going to fight. And, you know, it was like, oh, I don't know what Conor's doing, and et cetera, et cetera. And then all of a sudden the two of them were the best of buds again.
I know, but when you see somebody involved in violent criminal damage and assault like that, you kind of think they will lose all credibility. I mean, it's not like MMA or UFC has the best credibility as it is. They will lose all credibility if they work with them again after that.
Well, that's what I said. I reckon they'll give him one big last fight, and that's it. Good luck to you. We just can't. We can't.
Why would they even do that?
I reckon they'll do it because, as I said, the publicity of this alone is huge. Between the two fighters in question, McGregor and your man, whatever his name is. Sorry, I wouldn't know the fighters' names. But I mean, as I said, that's a fight in its own right. Put the two of them against, and Jesus, you're talking a big pay-per-view event, and then that's it. And then I reckon it will be a case that McGregor will sign up for the WWE.
All right, but stay there for 1 second. So you think it's not the end of the road just yet?
No. I mean, he's not the only sports person to ever do silly things like that and still kind of come out relatively on top.
I know, but this is like the latest.
It's the latest, of course. But again, come tomorrow, it'll blow over, like, you know, something else will crop up, you know.
Eddie, do you think that, you know, this mightn't be the end of McGregor? I mean, that's really what Ronan is saying here.
That fella has a point. In that game, there's no such thing as bad publicity, because if he fights again, everyone's going to watch because they want to see him get his head knocked off his shoulders. You know what I mean? So tickets will sell. You know what I mean? He's now the pantomime villain, so people want to see him get taught a lesson because they think he's got too big for his boots. So people will tune in. No doubt about it. Money talks. In America, you wouldn't put it past them all.
I have to say, I love some of the tweets that Paddy Power as a company put out. They put up a very funny one about an hour ago, and they said, "We are now hearing reports that Conor McGregor is driving around Manhattan in a digger looking for a Lidl." This is getting serious, folks. I think that's funny. Well done, Paddy Power. Sorry, go on.
If he fights again, would you watch it?
I've never watched it, so there's your
answer.
Never
watched it. Like, I'm not a UFC fan, right? But any time McGregor's had a high-profile fight, I've watched it, just out of curiosity. And now I don't know what the story is. Apparently, he has beef with this other fella. But if they were to fight, everybody would watch it.
Yeah, I have to say, a lot of people are saying he'll fight again, no hassle. Patrick, you think that this is some sort of a PR stunt again?
I do, to be honest with you, because I used to watch the WWE with my son way back, and you'd see them attacking each other and smashing up cars and, destructing lorries and all this. But you see, what people want to be very careful of at the moment, and I'm not referring to your show, but his legal team in America will latch on saying, well, look, he's being tried online. He's being tried on social media, so he's not going to get a fair hearing.
I mean, in fairness, you could say the same about any case, Patrick. This guy happens to be...
No, Adrian, I'm just making the point, you know what I mean? Like, these boys will latch on to anything.
I know that, but, by contrast, he's somebody that would regularly use his own social media accounts to lash people out of it and whatever.
I know. I know that, and I think that last gentleman that you spoke to there, Adrian, made very valid points. I think, to be honest with you, I think he's finished in America. And the
reality of it is, and Ronan, just to go back to you about this, if he gets, now obviously he's not due to appear in court until 1 o'clock this afternoon, but if he gets tried and convicted with a relatively serious offence, it has to be said, the chances are he will never get a visa to get into America again. If he doesn't have a visa to get into America again, he'll never fight in Vegas again. Career over.
I reckon what will happen is I think what will happen to him right now is he'll probably get the likes of a community service, a long community service, and do charity gigs and stuff like that because of who he is. I mean, let's face it, like, he's the biggest thing in Ireland in a long time. Next to say we got Rory McIlroy, you know what I mean? Like, he's the biggest thing. So I reckon it's in their own interest. It's just to say, look, let's get this down here and we'll do some good out of this. Do you know what I mean? And I reckon that's what the lawyers will maintain. Look, there was a misunderstanding. Nobody meant to get hurt. Look, listen, McGregor has apologised. And look, listen, we'll do what needs to be done. But I don't think they'll take the visa off him. I think they're going to give him a community service and a severe warning. And that if this happens again, I reckon he will be just given the LTFO out of America. But again, we're still a long way off that now at this point.
No, I'm aware of that, and he hasn't even appeared in court yet. So
yeah, I mean, we still haven't even got McGregor's side of things just yet. Anyway, as I said, like, there's three sides to the story. At the moment, all we're getting is Dana White's side of this and the videos. So we don't even know the full ins and outs of what happened, why McGregor acted the way he did. Now, look, come here, we all have temper tantrums at the best of times. Some of us...
Well, now there's a temper tantrum now, and there's smashing up a bus with bins
of course there
barriers
is,
and whatever.
I mean? But I mean, there is obviously, you're right, there is criminal damage and everything else. But there is still this sweet... Again, is this a PR stunt, though? Because if it is a PR stunt, let's face it, it's near people are believing that it actually is real.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say it's, McGregor alone, but when I hear of a young fella, 25-year-old Cian Cowley from Dalkey, another MMA fighter, has also been charged with assault and criminal mischief. This is a young fella at the start of his career, and he could have screwed it all up. Carol, your point is, why are we all bashing McGregor when we don't know what happened?
Exactly, yes. Sorry, you're going to have to excuse me. I have the flu at the moment.
That's all right. I'm not far behind you, but go on anyway.
Yeah, no, I think we're all very quick to jump. Very quick to jump. We don't know what happened.
Okay, now, I saw, and I just read out a message there that this was retaliation for something else and blah, 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 blah. However, this morning I saw 3 videos, and those 3 videos showed me very clearly what happened in New York. Yeah. I don't know what else I need to know. Whether it was retaliation or whatever word you want to put on it, I saw a guy behaving despicably.
I'm not going to condone his behaviour. I've seen the videos myself. I'm not going to condone that behaviour, but we don't know what has pushed him to that. Don't get me wrong. I mean, personally, I feel that he's risen to the ranks that he's at now very quick, very fast, and I don't feel that the people around him are strong enough for him.
To keep him in control?
Not to keep him in control, but to guide.
Yes,
do you know what I'm saying? Like, he's very...
sorry, the man's not a kid. Like, it's not like he's an up-and-coming 18-year-old. He's 30.
Yeah, he's 30.
He's a father.
Yes, he's a father. Yes, he's a first time at everything now. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying what he's done is right. No, it's not. It's wrong. But I feel we should wait and see what the full story is. And as far as Dana White is concerned, any kind of a spin on it is good for him.
Somebody not happy with you. What he did was nothing less than criminal damage, so it doesn't matter what pushed him. It is indefensible.
I don't think so. I don't agree with that. I'm not defending what he's done. What he's done is violence. I mean, in the sport that he's in, they have to have control. But I would like to know what has led him to that.
Does it really matter?
Yeah, I think it does.
Go see a counsellor. Do you know what I mean? The fact of the matter is that he is seen by many as a role model. That is not the behaviour of somebody you want to look up to as a role model.
Well, as I said, I'm not going to bash Conor McGregor at the moment because I don't know his side of the story. We're all very good at jumping.
I know we don't know his side of the story.
Yeah.
And I know there was probably provocation.
And I know you're going to say, that doesn't. He shouldn't have done what he did.
But regardless, Carol, of the provocation, the videos and 3 different videos I saw today show a guy out of control, smashing up a bus. No matter what the provocation is.
Yeah, I understand that, and I said I don't condone that. I like Conor McGregor.
How can you after watching that?
Because I like the man. I like what he's done. I like how far he's come in his life. Okay, he hasn't done everything right, and unfortunately, I think he's kind of gotten rich too fast, too soon. And the people around him...
sorry, Carol, I know other people who've gotten rich too fast, too soon.
In that kind of a sport.
And don't go smashing up buses.
In that kind of a sport.
Okay, stay there for 1 second. Andy, here's a lady that kind of feels sorry for him, I suppose.
How could you feel sorry for him? You know what I mean? Not after that. No way, you know.
We've all made mistakes in our lives.
He's made quite a few now, Carol, in fairness.
And none of us could stand there and say, listen, oh yeah, you're after doing that, that's it, we'll forget about you.
No, I don't think anybody listening to this show can say they haven't made a mistake in their life.
Yeah.
However, this is just the latest string.
Is
it not?
I think we had this conversation, a conversation similar to this, a couple of months ago, Adrian. It was all got to do with McGregor, yeah?
It was?
It was got to do with McGregor anyway, and here we go again. You know what I mean? Like
the last time was over. The last time was over him appearing in court here in Dublin.
That's correct. Yeah. Now let's see how flashy he's been now in his 7 Series, 6 Series payment. Now when he goes to court over there and whatever happened in Las Vegas or somewhere.
But would you not like to hear both sides of the story?
Over there, because I tell you what.
Well, Carol,
would you not like to hear both sides of the story?
I agree that there's another side to this story, Carol.
I would like to, and then I will base my judgment on that.
Okay, but somebody
instead of jumping on the bandwagon and bashing, let's bash Conor, let's bash him.
Ask Carol, if I smashed up her car, would she feel sorry for me or want me done?
No, I'm not saying that. No, of course I wouldn't feel sorry for you. I'd like to see both sides of the story, and then I would like to make a judgment for myself. Instead of everybody just, Conor's in the news again, look what he's done. Oh yeah, great, let's bash him.
All right, stay there for 1 second. Sorry, here's a message. Adrian, you've changed your tune fairly rapidly. Only 2 weeks ago you were defending Ant and he was clearly drink driving. Sing to whatever is the news hilarious. I don't know what the hell that means. 2 weeks ago I did say that I felt a degree of sympathy for Ant McPartlin because he is going through an awful lot of crap in his life, and I do feel sorry for him. I don't know how you can compare the two. Really, I genuinely don't. If McGregor was reaching out and saying he needs mental health help, you'd say fair enough. He hasn't. Ant McPartlin has.
Andy, still on there?
Sorry, yes, Andy. Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's any sympathy towards a drink driver that caused him a major accident.
I didn't say I had sympathy towards his drink driving. I said I had sympathy towards him as a person. But go on anyway.
Yeah, well, we go back to the McGregor issue again. I think that it's no publicity stunt.
No, it's definitely not a publicity stunt. I agree.
Trouble, right?
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, you know the way the Americans carry on with compensation and et cetera, and it'll run into millions. So, in actual fact, I hope from a man that came from rags to riches, I hope they take the socks and all off the fella.
Somebody texted in to say, this guy is a scumbag who thinks...
The little man with the big mouth, you know what I mean?
Scumbag who thinks he can do what he wants and thinks he can get away with it. Not in the States. He may get away with it here, but he won't over there. And that's what he's facing at 1 o'clock this afternoon in court. Where am I going next? Anthony, you're still a big McGregor fan.
Yeah, like I think Andy's been a bit harsh there. Like, look, I'd be with Carol there. I don't agree with what he done. So look, you can't condone it. I just think it was a moment of madness, and to wish bad on someone that you wish they'd take the socks and everything off the man. Like, yeah, he is going to openly apologise for this. I bet you he's sitting back now and he realises what he done was wrong and he made a mistake. Like, he's only human. He's from Crumlin. He's not from Donnybrook or. He grew up with people like this.
I don't know what that's meant to mean. He's from Crumlin. I know loads of people from Crumlin.
It's a different area. Yeah, I know loads of people as well. But what I'm trying to say is, like, he wasn't brought up with a silver spoon. He's used to confrontation.
Again, Anthony, I know loads of people who weren't brought up with silver spoons in their mouths in Crumlin. They don't go smashing up buses.
Look, I agree with you. He shouldn't have done it, but he did. At the end of the day, he did. So, like, he made a mistake. He doesn't deserve to have everything taken away from him. Like, yeah, for that one mistake, he deserves everything to be stripped away from him. He's going to be punished. Americans don't mess around. He's going to be punished, whether that's jail or whether it's money, I don't know. But
you can rest assured. You can rest assured if it's a serious sentence that he gets out of this, he won't be allowed to visit America again. It's as simple as that.
Possibly, yeah.
And
that's his own bed. That's his own punishment.
All right, let me just bring in one last call. Peter, you're on 98 FM. Hiya, Peter.
Hi, Adrian.
Very quickly, what do you want to say?
I think he's absolutely disgraceful, to be honest.
Okay, that's a good enough point to finish on. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, all of you, for your calls. I could keep this going until Christmas, but I think what needs to be said has been said. If you keep listening to 98 FM throughout the day, we will have full reports live from New York City on McGregor's court appearance, which is due to happen after 1 p.m. Irish time. And 98 FM News will keep you right up to date with everything that is going on with McGregor in New York.
98 FM. This is 98 FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
Weekdays from 10 a.m. on 98 FM.